Chapter 13, The Kingdom of Wishes. The company traveled through the mountains of the island until the sun began to set. Raphael and Asha had no idea where the king was going, but they trusted he had a plan, and anyhow, they were trespassing on his mercy and goodwill, so it was best not to ask too many questions. The crystal veil at the top of his staff began to glow a soft green. "We are near one of the wishes," he said. "Draw your sword." Raphael did as he was told. Asha's heart began to pound. She had no experience as a warrior and felt as useless as an empty sack. Magnifico heard her teeth chattering as she clutched his chest from behind the horse. "Asha, I hope it is one of the less dangerous wishes, but if there are signs of a dragon, you must slip out of the saddle and run like the wind." "Yes, sir," she whispered. They came upon a 2-story stone house with barreled tile where a young man was busy planting bushes. A large cart full of camellias, roses, azaleas, and all manner of wildflowers stood beside him. "Your Majesty," he gasped, bowing deeply. "Pray put yourself at ease," said Magnifico. "I come not for your life. Tell me, how did you come by all these?" "My lord, the most extraordinary thing has happened. I was sitting in my rocking chair reading a book when suddenly a crystal ball came floating through the window towards me. I got up to see what it was, and before I could take a look, it dissolved inside of me. Suddenly I remembered how I had always wanted to be the finest gardener of the island. So I went outside to look over my yard, and lo and behold, there was a cart full of plants. So I set to work at once. I drew a landscape on a piece of paper, and now I'm making it come to life. It is my goal to create a magnificent garden so that it might be left for the people's enjoyment long after I am gone." "Do you mean to charge those who come to gaze upon its beauty?" said the king. "Oh yes," said the peasant, "and I'll sell bouquets as well when the flowers are at their finest. A man must make a living somehow, and now I can make one doing what I love best." "What is your name?" said the king. "Andrew." "Well, Andrew, yours is a seemingly harmless wish, but it was granted illegally. I will have to examine your records as a citizen so I may know if you are a man of good standing before I can grant it to you permanently. However, you may keep it for the time being." "Oh, thank you, your Majesty. In sooth, I cannot understand how harm could come from such a lovely wish. But if there is indeed some unknown harm which I am unaware of, I will gladly surrender it to you." "Good day," said the king. The king and his 2 companions traveled a little farther when they came to the great beech forest. The sun was now setting in earnest. It hung like a great orange ball sinking further into the west, surrounded by clouds of gold, orange, pink, and gray. "We will rest here for the night," said King Magnifico. They set up camp and laid down at the base of a mighty oak. Asha started a fire while Raphael unpacked the provisions. "1 piece of bread and meat," said the king. "I've rationed it." For a while they sat and ate silently, making it last as long as possible. "Raphael," said Asha, "I'm sorry I fought you." "Think no more of that," said Raphael. The king raised his staff, looking thoughtfully at it. "This staff has the power to detect escaped wishes. It glows green when we draw near. When we are close enough to retrieve them, I will speak a few words and cause them to return to me unless they have already come in contact with the people. I did not take Andrew's wish because there is room for leniency while I investigate his character. I will do the same for your brother Sebastian. He will keep his wish of music until he is 25, and then I will see how he uses it so I can decide if he is truly deserving." "Your Majesty," said Asha, trying to be as respectful as possible, "I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but why did you not destroy the bad wishes when they were given to you?" because it is not in the realm of my power to destroy the wishes. They are part of the individual. When he passes on into the next world, they will disappear of their own accord. Why would someone wish to be a dragon? You are still young and cannot comprehend the darkness of a human heart. This man is mentally deranged. He was an apprentice of mine who tried different kinds of magic I had warned him against. Magic that is derived from spirits instead of science. They promise power and pleasure to their victims, but there is always a price to pay. I told him, Ezra, this spirit is not your friend. He comes from a place so dark and terrible you can't begin to imagine, and he only comes to kill and destroy. Ezra's family brought him to me, hoping I could cure him. He spoke one way, and then another voice came out of him that was not his own. Alas, there are limits to what magic can achieve, for he loved his spirit too much to let me cast it out of him. I told them the best and kindest thing they could do is lock him up somewhere so he wouldn't be a threat to society. When he wished to be a dragon, perhaps by giving me his darkest wish, he believed he could prevent many lives from being needlessly destroyed. For he loves and hates this spirit, just as he loves and hates himself. He knows I will keep his wish locked away as long as he lives, and perhaps that will give him peace of mind. There is always a battle you cannot see, and it is not for the flesh and blood of this world, but the desires of our heart for good and evil. Which one wins? Asked Asha. Magnifico closed his eyes and bowed his head. The one you feed.